Hi, and welcome back to the Four of Wands podcast. I'm your host, Euryale with Wolf, and today we have a special guest, Ambrosia the Witch. How exciting!
Hi. So excited.
Hi.
Hi.
So how are you? So excited to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm really well, thank you.
Amazing. How are you, Wolf? You doing all right over there?
Yeah, as best as I can be. So if I sound like crap, you'll know that I'm unwell, but the show must go on.
At least it's not Rona, like that's so 2020.
Now I saw something today. It was like in 6 months, 2020 will have been 5 years ago. And
fuck.
Yeah, shit. I was like, nah.
No way.
Surely not. Yes.
Far
but
out.
Yeah, obviously that's basic math, but no.
Yeah, that's just how
time
works. Kind of. Don't even get me started on time.
No, we can't. No existential crises tonight, please.
Right? Derail the entire purpose of this podcast from that time. It's just me looking at the camera like...
It's the Aquarius rising Saturn ruled time daddy in us.
So what country are you joining us from today?
So I'm from Minjin country, which is the original custodians are the Turrbal people.
Oh, amazing. I love that. So, who are you? Tell us a bit about yourself.
I always hate this bit.
Right? It's like, oh my God, pressure. Who am I? I've just forgotten.
Who am I? Like, it's such a big question. Like, well, I guess I'm Amber, but I go by Ambrosia the Witch on social media. It's kind of my witchy name. And yeah, I am a witch. I have been my whole life. And yeah, I make stupid content on TikTok, but I like sprinkle some education in there and I just have fun with it. And I also, I'm a mentor in my own academy where I teach witchcraft, and have an apothecary where I make items and things like that. So yeah, absolutely pretty multifaceted.
You're very much a important part of the online community. I think you keep a lot of people grounded and in their place.
Oh, thank you.
Even without meaning to. I think it's just like mama witch.
Yes, the whole mum thing is so funny because I never like really saw myself as a mum, and I just attract people, and I'm like, fine, I'll be your mum. Like it's this responsibility that's been put on me, and I never wanted it, but I'm like proud to like do it at the same time. So I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm your mum now. Get in.
Meanwhile, all the lesbians on TikTok look at you and like, mummy.
I'll take it. Men are scared of me, so like I am bi. I may just have to lean into that side of me at some, because men just can't handle it.
Nah, fuck men.
That's a whole
shit. What have they done for us lately?
Whole other episode.
Global warming.
That's a whole other episode. Ambrosia discovers her sexuality. Not tonight.
Oh my gosh, we'll keep you we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I'll write a blog.
We'll have to get you down for Mardi Gras and take you there.
Oh, I'd love that.
Ambrosia does Mardi Gras.
Ambrosia does Mardi Gras. Sounds like a really bad porn.
Just you like thrusting on things,
right? I'll have to start an OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh, don't. You're going to make me cry.
We'll pay for that, and we know that though.
Yeah, that's a solid plan B then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so what's your favourite song currently?
Oh, it's called Rata-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Yep.
And it's like heavy metal mixed with like K-pop. It's just, I don't know, it's just scratching my brain right now for some reason.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, it's called here, I'll look it up because I was literally just listening to it. Because I'll use all the dopamine out of this song. It's Baby Metal by Electric Callboy. Wait, no, it's called Ratatatata, and it's by Baby Metal feat Electric Callboy. Random, but
I'm gonna
it's
have
really
to search
lovely.
that up later because I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. As soon as you started
Yeah.
saying Ratatatata, I was like, wait, is this Radamahara by Sipcha?
No.
And then I was just like,
The
what
chorus is
banger.
like Ratatatata, my body is a weapon. Really, it goes hard. It's so good.
Dang. I don't mind me some baby metal, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. So what got you into witchcraft in the first place?
Oh, I was just obsessed as a teen, and it was like media, I guess. Like the movie The Craft was like my like sexual and spiritual awakening. Watching that movie at like 13, 14, I was like, oh my god, that's what I want. But I was into tarot and astrology well before that because my mom was into it, and then it was just like the witchcraft aspect, and I just started like I want to do that. So I just started like accumulating items and trying to do as much research as I could, but there wasn't a lot around back then. So it was interesting, and like attempting to do spells that I saw in movies and like shit I got off the fucking internet. And I had like fuck all success, like really in the beginning. And then I was like, all right, let's put our thinking caps on here. Why isn't this working? Like there's like let's like break it down, like break every like individual component down, and like as I started formulating like my own thoughts about like each aspect of why it's there and like what it could realistically do in terms of energy. And yeah, we were pretty self-taught in that because I didn't kids today are so fucking spoiled
Right.
with all of the resources that they have. Yeah, back in I don't know, 2001, it wasn't quite like that. So
No, not even in even like around late 2010s to like, gosh, it feels weird saying it like that, but like 2009 through to like 2013, it was like all you really had available to you were like Wiccan books and Aleister Crowley and the Satanic Bible. Even then, like unless you delve deeper into like the Reddit threads of the internet.
Oh, it didn't even have Reddit. We had Angel Fire, which is like a hosted like web page site, and people like, and there would be like pagan stuff on there, and there'd be random. And I would just try these random spells just to see, and then I would analyze and tweak them, and then try them again. And I've still got spells in my repertoire that I actually lifted from internet sites back then because they did like legitimately work, or I've tweaked them enough. So I do, but most of my spells are either channeled or written by myself now. I don't do other people's.
Yeah. You get to a stage where you know like the concepts. And do you get yours a lot from meditation?
Yeah, I get like inspired is what I guess what I'll say. I'll get inspired either by music a lot. Sometimes the lyrics in music will then I'll like see myself performing something in conjunction with that song. And like aspects of it. Definitely have had flashes of myself doing certain things or having certain aspects within the spell, and then I kind of like work backwards, or I've just inspired by intention. I really know I have to do this. I'm like feeling like so called towards this certain thing. Okay, well, what do I need to get there? And then again, kind of sitting with it before I do any spell. Like I'll do my divination one aspect to, and then I'll go away and I'll go for a walk, or I'll sit with it and dream it up, and I'll get my sketchbook out and what does it visually look like, and especially because I post content now, I keep the visual aspect or impact in mind as well. Like I want it to look good, as well
Yeah.
as actually work, just because I'm
Yeah.
sharing. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't care so much.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, I think
You kind of got to make it, I guess, online theatrical to a certain extent, but then also the theater aspect of it makes it feel fun and
it's
more
like
like
art. It's like a
exactly.
performance, and you are performing something. You are, walking up to your altar is like the stage, and you are, your audience is your spirits, and you know, yeah, I've definitely had them like in channel that will entertain us, and and they're involved in it, and it's this kind of collaboration. So,
I love that.
and to be able to share that with other people is really cool, especially like the little moments of connection that I can show people, because so much of it is internal and I can't prove any of it or anything like that, but like there's little glimpses where they can actually see in the flames or see the lyrics line up to what I'm saying or whatnot is really, really special.
Yeah. I'm still like, oh, I always think about it like when I think of rituals that you've done, that time that you had the fire. I think it was the last spell that you did on TikTok. And it was I think you said it was the most amount of people that you'd had join a spell, and then it just kicked off to Tool screaming like "We are spirit."
We are spirit.
Like, okay.
That song goes for 11 minutes, and the whole time, that song, Tool channeled that shit. That is a spirit-led message that he channeled in that song, and I felt every bit of it. And so that was a communal spell where I went live. It was a full moon in Sagittarius, so I'm a Sag moon, and I was like, yeah, let's do some communal working. And it was just like a road opener. And it was the most people that had ever like volunteered to go in, and they made a donation to go into the spell. It was the most people I'd ever done this for, and the energy just was so much. Like I was dysregulated for like hours afterwards, and I almost gave up at one point. I was like, this is too much. This should have ended 10 minutes ago. It's still going. There's no sign of it stopping.
It was roaring.
It was roaring the whole time, and it was one fucking candle and some herbs. Like, are you kidding? Like, it doesn't make any logical sense that it was going for that long. But yeah, Spirit got hold of it, and because there were so many people attached to it, I had so many people reach out to me being like, that shit worked. And I was like, it had fucking want to work because I almost died. Like, I haven't done another one since. That was back in September. Oh no, November, I think. I haven't done another one since. I'm a bit scared to go back to it.
Understandably, yeah, because that was like you could feel the energy just flying off it. It was amazing to watch, but like I could feel like if I was in that situation, it's that kind of like feeling in your, I don't know, like your heart type space where it's like, okay, I'm starting to feel like this is a bit too much energy than I can harness. And it's like, okay, fuck.
My heart was racing. I was hot. My heart was racing. I was feeling like I was about on the edge of a panic attack the whole time. And it was still running through me, and I still knew I had to keep going. And the message at the very beginning, which really got me, and it almost like brought me to tears, was like the lyrics of, we are one breath, one life, wake up, remember. And I knew that was energy that needed to go to everybody that had come into it. And like, because of that first thing, I wasn't gonna give up, and I also didn't want to look like a bitch in front of everybody. So
it's like Capricorn pride.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm a powerful bitch. I can handle this. But afterwards I was like, okay, that was humbling. I maybe bit off a little bit more than I could chew there. That was maybe something that 3 people should have done, not just one. But okay, it's all right, you learn. And if I do it again, I'll probably cap it at maybe 5 people. And so it doesn't get crazy. I think there's also like a blood moon or something as well. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was something big. I remember that. Or was it a lunar?
Was it an eclipse maybe?
I can't remember. It was something important.
Yeah, there was something going on because I was so amped as well in the beginning. I was like so arrogant, I guess. I was like, yeah, let's just, we can do it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that. Okay, but I could honestly talk to you forever about anything. So let's get to the point. The whole point of this podcast was to actually talk about baneful magic. So you being a wide array of tools in your kit as a witch, and baneful magic being one of them, what is baneful magic for the people listening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I look at baneful magic as a category of magic. All magic is energy manipulation, conjuring with intention and direction to affect change. And baneful magic is exactly the same. It's just in a different flavor. So we go more into the low vibration, I suppose, where we're tapping into anger and grief and hurt and, those real primal emotions and outcomes that people don't really like to talk about, that have come about from events that are quite awful, and create events that are awful as well, but on purpose. So yeah, baneful magic for me, it's just a category, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's good.
And
It's
how
nice
did
to
you
hear it
actually
from
start down your
another.
baneful path?
How
Sorry,
did I
you
get started?
add something, babe?
I was gonna say it's nice to hear it from somebody who actually practices it, because as we've seen online a fair bit lately, there's so much fear around the word baneful magic, because people don't understand it. So that's like, I
Yeah.
guess, one of the things that we're trying to shed a bit more light on. So it's nice to hear it from that perspective too.
Yeah, I think there's a spectrum. Magic is a spectrum, and we, people like to live in the light, but that's not life. That's not reality. And I think you become quite ungrounded if you just want to be over here and you won't face what's over here. And I think, although you may never have to actually practice baneful magic, it's good to understand its purpose, and it is here for a reason. It's not all rainbows and butterflies for everybody in the world, even though you may not have had an experience where you've needed baneful magic to avenge yourself or somebody else. Others definitely have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And how did you actually start down your baneful path?
Because I needed to avenge myself.
Yeah. Good segue into it.
Yeah, so I'll give a trigger warning here about SA, but when I was a young teen, I was assaulted. And then I was assaulted again, and then again, by different people. And the last time was different because people knew. He had bragged about it, and nobody did anything. Nobody really took it seriously. And I couldn't say anything because I would have had to admit I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. I thought I was going to get in trouble. And I didn't know who would believe me about what. And so I was angry. I was so fucking angry, and I felt powerless. And there was just something in me, just this scratching at the back of my mind of do something about it. And because I'd already been dabbling in witchcraft, and you see well, I guess I wouldn't even call it baneful magic in media, but I was like, okay, so what can I do? And I channeled something, almost like a rage that I know now wasn't mine, although it was on behalf of me. And I channeled this working for one of them, and it was wild. I snuck out. I walked to their house. I pulled out a rosemary bush from their yard. I cut the roots out of it. I went ham on this working, not even knowing what I was really doing. I was just led the whole way, and it worked, and it still works to this day. And I felt powerful after that, even though I really couldn't tell anybody. Still, I knew what I'd done, and I knew that they were suffering and it was me who did it. And that's how it all started.
Yeah. It's definitely giving Hecate looking over your shoulders, but also strangely Lilith vibes is what's vibing from that type of avengeful working.
Yeah.
Do you know who it was guiding you, or?
It was ancestral.
Yeah.
But I think Hecate is kind of in the ancestral line. Anyway, Hecate's been around for a long time. I would do really risky spell work in parks, and dogs would walk me home, and dogs would show up, and I'd never make the connection until I was much older that was Hecate, like looking out for my dumb ass. So because once I got a taste of it, and I felt, and the thing was, I felt the power of it. I felt backed by it. It ran through me. I felt all of it, and that was it. So then I grabbed the other two as well and fucked them up, and then the best part is, and I love this. So I buried the jar at the spot where it happened. It was in a park, and a little while later, they put a concrete slab over the top of it and a park bench.
Amazing.
So now I can go and sit there, and that is a place of power for me now, rather than being somewhere that I would not want to look.
Yeah.
So I love that. I'll go and sit there every now and then and just really be smug.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that, like, there's no way to break it now because it's under
There's
the
no way to break it. The fact that there are rosemary roots in it, and rosemary won't grow for me anymore. Like I had no idea about using ingredients properly or anything like that. I used the roots to make sure that they would like never be able to find a home or like put roots down anywhere. And that's, the opposite of what rosemary stands for.
Yeah.
And so I've come to the conclusion, like, I can't grow rosemary. It doesn't matter what I do, from seedlings, I buy established bushes, nothing. It's like all the energy evaporates out of it the moment it's in my care. And I've even had, like, my ex-husband's dad was even like, you can't be that bad. Like, rosemary literally grows on the side of the road. Like, and he bought me a rosemary bush. 2 weeks later, it was dead. And he's like, I don't understand. And it's like, don't worry about it.
Don't ask.
Exactly. And I've told this story before, and people are like, well, why don't you dig it up and dismantle it? And it's like I couldn't, even if I wanted to. And I don't want to, but it's under a fucking concrete slab now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think that that's a coincidence either. So
No, not at all. That
Yeah.
just seems like fated, especially since you're able to like sit there and just revel in the glory of that primordial energy that you generated and channeled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
It's nice.
So obviously being a child back then, did you ask spirit permission
No.
to perform that, or did you just actually feel...
I didn't even know I needed to. I didn't discover that aspect until much later. So like I said, like, that's where it all started, and I felt powerful. That shit went to my head. I was off the charts, an egomaniac, a teenager as well. So then, like, I got my heart broken by a boy I didn't even want in the first place, and I was furious. So I went to do a working on him. I was like, fuck this guy. And I didn't feel the same backing. I didn't feel the same intuition, the flow didn't go exactly right. It blew back on me a touch, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I made note of it, and then, there was this girl who fucked with me, and so I tried to do something to her, and same sort of situation. It just didn't feel justified. It didn't feel like it was the right thing, not the same like pull. And I kind of sat with it, and came up with, I was like, oh, so I can really only like stand in this when I have permission. Like, I was like, I played around with it for a lot of years about kind of what the difference was. And then, over time and once I, started building my connection with these energies, because I didn't really have one before this anyway, it was when it kind of tweaked that they were very much like in the driver's seat of some of this stuff. Although I could still do it, and I did still do stuff without their permission.
Yeah.
It wasn't as effective. It wasn't as flowy. It wasn't as powerful. Like, and so I found over time, to have them on side with me was much better than to not, even though I definitely still can if I want to bypass them, but it's never really worked out well, so I just try not to.
So is that part of your practice now, to ask permission before baneful magic?
Yeah, to ask permission pretty much before anything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think I might give up too much power in that. But really, like, there's a lot of nuance about kind of what they know and what's in the workings. And, you know, they've got their plans and they're protecting certain things so that they will happen. And it's really complicated. And if you're going to come along and fuck it up with your free will, well, they're not going to allow that, or they'll try and stop it in some way. So why waste your energy?
Yeah.
Like I tried to do a cord cutting, a simple fucking cord cutting. No, I wasn't set, like I wasn't blessed to do that. And
Yeah.
I don't particularly know why yet, but I will. And, you know, I'm at the point now where I can surrender to that, and I'm happy to find out later because I trust them enough to know that there's a reason, and
Yeah.
it will reveal itself in time.
Yeah. I love that. So I think you kind of answered the next question I had for you, which was like, how does baneful magic empower the person performing it, or the person that's seeking that justice? Like, I think you've pretty much already
Yeah.
answered that next question, which is, yeah, it kind of,
Yeah, it does. It allows you to take things back in your hands, under your control. And the feeling of powerlessness, when, especially when your autonomy's been fucked with,
yeah,
you've been restrained in some way or oppressed in some other way, to be able to stand and do something is, yeah, incredibly healing. And although it doesn't like make everything better, nothing can. It can put you on the right track to feeling less of a victim, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah, giving that sense of, like you said, power back, which is everything in a world that always tries to take it from you. So
Absolutely.
I think this is probably like a big question.
Uh-huh.
So how moral do you actually find baneful magic?
I find it incredibly moral. I think, um, well, there are no morals in Baneful Magic, I suppose. I don't have any judgments over anybody does with anything within the Baneful scope. And again, it's a spectrum. There are incredibly dark rituals that call for incredibly dark things.
Mm-hmm.
Under the right circumstances, if that's the justifiable response, then who the fuck am I to look down on you for doing that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to. And there are practitioners who are called into that particular line of things that we find taboo or unsettling or something that we wouldn't do ourselves. And I think passing judgment on them when you don't understand their path is just shitty, really. Somebody who's genuinely justified and on that path and working with those kinds of spirits, leave them alone. Like it's not nice. They aren't enjoying themselves. It's nothing to brag about. It's an incredibly heavy burden to have. And the ones who truly, they don't even talk about it anyway. So the ones you see online who are going on about doing blah blah blah, no, they're not. I've done things I'll never admit to, never admit to, and I don't need to because it's nobody's business. I know why I did it. I know the justification that I had, and it got done, and that's the end of it. It's not up for debate for anybody else. So you can't place societal morals or morals that you picked up from family, Christianity, like wherever you got them from, as noble as they may be, if you aren't in that circumstance and you haven't been pushed to that limit, you can't say for certain what you would and wouldn't do. Like, I know if somebody hurt my children, there is nothing that is off the fucking table for me of what I would do.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I would never do that. Tempt fate much? Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. There is nothing I wouldn't do under the right circumstance. So people are like, oh, would you like kill somebody's children? It's like, well, fucking, of course not. But what did they do to me? If that is something that is on the table, it would have had to been something horrific coming my way for me to even consider something like that. But I'm not going to run around and be like, oh yeah, totally kill a kid. No, that's not the way it works. Like
No.
you never have that outset, it's all, I don't know, reactive, I guess.
Well, it all comes down to like, it almost feels like when it comes to baneful magic and the stigma that other practitioners can put on it, not all of them, but at least online, there's stigma put on it. And it's almost like bringing in this code and rules of that are moral absolutionism or something, like there's this overarching set of rules that binds everyone. And it's like, no, your morals and ethics are for you and you alone. Just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that I wouldn't. And yeah, it's just like
It's
mind your
weird,
business.
right? Kind of. It's like you don't like Christians and yet you like rules. I don't understand.
Right?
And there is no rules in witchcraft. Like there's the natural order of things, the natural laws that we have to abide by. Trying to break them is a whole other thing. But yeah, other than that, there's like the spirit aspect is interesting. Like I choose to do my practice that way because I want to. But if I wanted to go rogue and do whatever the fuck I wanted, I totally could. Would it be as effective? I find no one, because I have done it. I have done whatever the fuck I wanted, and it was so fun. But at the same time, I've have a much more fulfilling practice doing the way I want to now. And spirits aren't moral either. They aren't angels. They aren't. Some of them you'll always find somebody in the spirit world to do something with you, if you look hard enough, if you've got enough to give them for it. So yeah, there's no morality there. Like they're very diverse in what they'll help with. So it's
So have you had much backlash for your baneful practices?
No, not really. Other than the love and lighters or the three folders and the annoying comments, I've never really had much backlash on like social media at all about anything. Really. I think once I stated that I don't do love spells and the reasons why I don't do them, and somebody made a video stating the cultural significance of them within other practices, and that was absolutely valid, but I really was only talking about me and my practice and why I choose not to. So I think we can have this kind of nuance of, hey, I don't do this and this is why, and I'm not speaking for everybody. Is that okay? Can we do that?
I think that is, yeah. Like,
yeah.
I just felt myself stare off into the distance then, as my brain like comprehended.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget
Is
that
it? I don't know.
Individuals. Like people are still individuals at the end of the day, and like Yuri was saying as well, your morals and ethics come down to you as an individual. If that's something that you're not okay with, or something that you don't want to do, then that should be respected.
Yeah, and it's not even a moral reason why I don't do love spells. I'm just shit at them. Like
that's your honesty and that's your truth.
Yeah,
Again,
I have no morality about it whatsoever. Cast away, honeys, but yeah, I'm not good at them, and I don't find them particularly effective because I'm not good at them. So
yeah,
I could say a whole thing, but I won't. I'll keep it to
just say it. Say it. Now that you've said that, you have to say it.
For me, like love spells, when you're casting on somebody, I don't get it. I don't understand why you would want to take away somebody else's free will in the sense like that, and that just pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't even know if it really works like that.
Yeah.
Like there has to be something there. There has to be something there for the spell to cling on to manifest. Yeah. So yeah, it's like obsession spells and stuff with people who don't even know them. I question how effective that could possibly be. So but again, I don't know. I don't do it. I did a love spell on my ex-husband when we were fucking teenagers, and it was a disaster. So I won't do it again.
I just never got intrigued by it. maybe because I'm like too, I don't know, self-driven. Love just
Yeah.
never really interested me, so I was just like never really bothered to put energy into doing it. I was always more like, how can I further myself?
Yeah, and I think, like, with the rise of shadow work that's come into the community, I think when people are, you know, at the point of, I want to put a love spell on somebody, the self-reflection should kick in to,
Yeah.
why do you want somebody who doesn't want you? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess it's different for like putting love spells on people in a baneful aspect of, I'm going to make them love this person who's going to treat them terribly, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's funny, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I think when it comes to like the individual wanting somebody that, yeah, um, isn't being reciprocal, I think shadow work is a better avenue.
Definitely. Because a lot of it comes down to like disempowerment of some form of self. At least that's how my brain reasons it. It's like if you feel like you need someone,
Yeah, it is.
you don't really. Like, what can you do for yourself that you think someone else will do for you? I
Yeah,
don't
you're seeking
know.
validation and fulfillment through another
I,
person.
I definitely got too many Saturn placements. Tell me without telling me.
That's all I was gonna say was like, your placements are really showing in this conversation.
Right? Oh my goodness. So, what is one thing that you'd love to instill into the spiritual community when it comes to baneful practice?
I think I'd just like everybody to have an open mind about it and a respect for it, even if you don't ever want to practice it, even if you never even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Respect the fact that it exists for a reason, and
Yeah.
understand the massive duality of the world that you live in. It's incredibly dark in some aspects, and it's a massive privilege to put your biases and your morals over baneful magic when you've been lucky enough to never be in a place of despair to need it.
Yeah.
So to have some reverence for the people who do need it and do ask for it, yeah, I think respect is everything. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
understand that, yeah, it may not be, and it's a calling as well. Some people like, people get called into it um through experience, and I think you do kind of need to have had some shady shit happen to you to be an effective baneful practitioner as well. You need to
I
be able to
definitely
go
agree with
into the
that.
depths of things and into that darkness, because when you're performing baneful magic, you're channeling that, and you're also, adding that into it. I've done rituals where I rage cried through the whole thing, and it wasn't, it was for somebody else. It wasn't my rage. It wasn't my despair that I was, passing on to this person. And it can
Yeah,
be really overwhelming and really labor intensive, and it deserves respect.
definitely. 100%. I think that's one thing as well that like a lot of people don't realize too is that like I'm a strong believer of like you should be in a cool, calm, collected state to plan the working, but like
Yeah.
when you're actually doing it, get yourself into that headspace of whatever you need to be in. But
Yeah.
I don't think people realize as well, like if you're truly embodying that energy, the way to bring yourself back is so hard. Like you're there, you are seeking justice for whoever, be
Mm-hmm.
that yourself or the person that you're performing it for. Like to pull yourself back from that primordial state is days worth of
Uh-huh.
recovery.
Exactly. You are dysregulated. Um, just it's so it's almost like like traumatizing yourself almost in a
Yeah,
way. And to crawl out of that and back into the middle, it can be difficult. You need to be fairly psychologically sound, I would say,
I
to
would
be able
agree.
to
Yep.
recognize what was yours, what wasn't, and the care that you have to give yourself afterwards as well, and to actually provide that to yourself, because it is, I can see practitioners, especially on TikTok, who practice this way and don't take care of themselves, and they're burning out, and you can tell. You can tell.
Yeah. So, on this same topic, or on the same flow of, what is spiritual respect?
Spiritual respect. I guess it's I guess having, well, it's having respect. It's it's having a reverence. It's having an appreciation for that entire realm. It's vast. It's fucking gigantic. It's full of entities, energies. There's agendas going on in there. There's cultural stuff. There's, it's a huge, expansive space that we can connect into, and to have like respect is currency. So like money isn't real. The only things we really have are our time, our word, our respect. These really fundamental things about us and what we can project outwards with our energy. And respect is fundamental. It's a currency in spirituality, like to give respect and offerings, and that is seen favorably. And it's, without respect, you're not going anywhere in the spirit world. You aren't. If you're going to approach it with arrogance, you are going to get knocked the fuck out. You see all these people who run back to Christianity. Yeah, they had no respect. They're used to talking to a God that doesn't talk back. And then they approach this world with, I want this, and give me this. And yeah, no reciprocation of energy. They don't understand, and yeah, they have a bad time. So I think ultimately spiritual respect is, the understanding of your place, their place, the mutualness between it, and that, I don't know, I guess kind of like staying in your fucking lane, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So with that, how could a person like cause spiritual disrespect when practicing baneful magic?
Spiritual disrespect. I guess, well, obviously doing something that isn't justified is one thing, because of ego or whatever your perceived reason is. Actually, people go too far with this kind of shit. They got cheated on and they want to, make sure that they never reproduce. Well, the ancestors of his line have got a problem with that. Like, you can't just cut off an ancestral line because he cheated on you. That's not how it works. There's the punishment has to fit the crime. So taking something too far, doing something that is not justified, also stepping over lines culturally as well, using ingredient, or effigies, or dipping into or doing a spell that is linked to another ancestral line. You have no business doing that. So yeah, closed practices, closed rituals, that kind of thing. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of these closed practices, the spells and the rituals within them work because they are being powered and linked in with their ancestral line. So if you were to pick that spell up and try and do it, there's nothing running behind it. Your ancestors aren't going to help you because they didn't, they're not connected to it. And for you to step in and, those ancestors are going to be like, who the fuck is this white girl trying to do this, like, and then flick you away. Like, so it's disrespectful culturally. It's disrespectful to do baneful workings on sacred sites. It's disrespectful to grave rob and use remains in baneful workings. That one's a bit of a grey area, actually, but if you're unjustified, it's definitely a very bad, disrespectful thing to do, to desecrate remains or anything like that. So yeah, there's quite a few ways you can be disrespectful. You can be disrespectful by asking for help for a spirit and not giving them a reward, or giving them an offering as payment, or saying you will and then not doing it. That's some
amazing,
disrespectful shit.
Especially
you don't do that.
If you work with any deity, but I guess the most common one that people hear about is like with infernals. They'll take it anyway, even if you can't deliver it. If you've promised it, they'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't work too much with the infernals, but yeah, from the limited kind of interactions I have had, it's been very transactional. And if I hadn't have like held up my end, I'm sure I would have been in a world of fucking pain. Like there's no doubt in my mind.
They're very I swear all of them are ruled by Capricorn, let's be real. They're all about business.
Truly. Yeah, I've very very helpful, very helpful. But I mean, in a transactional way, I think if you're working with one for development, it's a lot different. It's less transactional and more um, enlightening, I suppose.
Yeah. So, how is rather spiritual respect and morals within baneful practice different?
I think there has to be kind of an awareness of like the morals aspect. So I know for me, I can say there are no morals. I can do anything, or I can, even if I wouldn't do it, I can understand why somebody else did or whatnot, and not apply that. And I think, we all get our morals from our experiences and, our environment and whatnot. When it comes to like the spiritual respect thing, I think that just adds a layer, and it's kind of shaped my morals, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, although underneath it all, I know that there are no rules, the spiritual aspect has given me guidance, or almost given me a creed to work by. And so I do. But if I wanted to abandon that, I could. I'm not like signed an oath or anything. It's and everybody's spiritual path and team is different, so they're going to have that different spiritual, I guess, respect.
Yeah.
And work within the confines of what they're allowed to do. So yeah, it's so nuanced. It's nuanced to every practitioner. So what I've experienced and the way I practice may not be the way that anybody else wants to, and I don't really give a shit. I'm here and I'm doing this because it works for me, and
Yeah.
that's that. Again, like there's no debate on my end.
It's something that I think that especially as you start getting further along in your journey, you start realizing that the creed that you create is definitely to hold only yourself accountable to, and it's so empowering to like get to that stage where you truly realize that. And it's kind of like water off a duck's back when people try and throw shade at you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, just because you, who the fuck are you?
Well, I've shared like, I guess, parts of especially about like how I check in with spirit before I do things, and showing you like kind of like the mishaps that happen when I haven't done it. And I think I made one about baneful magic a while ago, about how you as an individual are not judge, jury, and executioner. That there are things that you may not be aware of. There are things that play sometimes, and yeah, it's best to do divination beforehand, blah blah blah. And I had a few people comment underneath it, I think I'll just do whatever I want, thanks, or whatever. And I'm just like, cool, babes, like you do you. I don't really give a shit. I'm sharing my experience. I'm sharing information that I think will help other people as well. They don't have to take it, but it's been helpful to me, so it may help others who are like-minded. And that's pretty much the end of it. Like, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Make your own content about how you do whatever the fuck you want. That's great. Would totally support that.
Yeah, and get the fuck out of my comments.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot because the ones I do get, I do hit back, and then yeah, that's pretty much the end of that.
So, what would the advice be that you would give to a witch listening who wishes to seek spiritual justice but is afraid of the backlash from the community or the threefold law?
I think I would say to them, like, sit with it and really like look inside yourself about like Okay, so you know why you want to do it. Do you feel the call, the pull to actually do it? Do you feel that it's unmistakable when it hits me, at least, where I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I feel
I'll
this
get
like,
you,
yeah,
bitch.
I can do something about this. And sometimes I don't even know them. Sometimes it's on the news, or I like to call it like cases come across my desk, and I just know that I'm supposed to, and I'm being used in that way, and I don't mind at all. And yeah, so and it's this I don't know, it's like this pull of retribution that I
Yeah.
can do something, so I must. And if you feel that within yourself, if you feel like you want to at least fucking try, then go for it. There's nothing to be afraid of, like especially when it comes to like situations where you've had something taken from you. You are so always well within your rights to take that back. There's no spirit in the world that's going to stop you from doing that, like, in my experience anyway. They'll move out of the way.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree with that. And like when you start deep diving on like where those beliefs stem from, often it's things that people were like taught. It's not even their own free
yeah,
thought.
I love that challenge of where did you get that from? Like,
Yeah.
why do you believe that? Why, like, fundamentally, where does that come from? I have to do it to myself all the time. Like, where does this belief actually stem from, actually? And then I deconstruct it and like, oh yeah, I picked it up, and there's a bit of science in that, and there's a bit of experience, and then but a majority of it is, yeah, oh okay, there's a little bit of new age in there. Well, let's fuck that off and,
Yeah.
and dive deeper into it and form a solid belief here. And beliefs should be open; they shouldn't be closed. You should always be accepting and willing to take on new information as it comes through experience or through education. Don't hold on to beliefs too tightly. What I believe right now, I may not believe in a year, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to learning more, and it's not. We shouldn't bring ego into it, and I find that that's what happens, especially on places like TikTok, where somebody comes in with a belief that they've learned from wherever they've learned it. They get confronted into deconstructing it. And they won't. They hold on and they fight, and then they get beaten into letting it go. So
Die on that hill for forever and a day, basically.
right?
Because that is the only way, because one person has said it, and that's the driving thought.
Yeah, it's so strange to me.
It
Um,
really is.
so yeah, I mean, and it's tough. Like, I've definitely had moments where I'm like, oh, like I'm challenging that. No, I believe this because I had this experience, and then I think more about it, and I was like, okay, so I had one experience that like backed this up. Let's think more about it. Let's take some of this information on board. Let's see what happens. I can be open to experiencing something else, and yeah, it's totally fine to do that. I've one of the ones with the fucking human design. I thought, yeah, I was like, human design, that's cool. I even recommended it in the beginning of my Patreon like years ago. I think it's fucking bullshit.
I'm not
Doesn't make
gonna
any
lie,
fucking
I
sense.
low-key started to look into that shit. I was like, wait a second. This is just the
Yeah,
Kai
no.
Balion in a different disguise.
And then I'm like, hang on, who actually made this up? Oh, he's a con artist? Oh, you don't say. And it's like, okay, all right, cool. So yeah, I think a little bit of research into, what you're implementing is always a good idea. A bit of research into all of the different facets that are like a building, especially if you're an eclectic practitioner and have picked up things from like little bits here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry picking is okay, as long as it's not done disrespectfully, and you're not taking something and leaving the rest of the meaning behind.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do in New Age spirituality, and
Oh.
I've been guilty of it myself.
Yeah.
So it's time to go back and really, I don't know, find some depth to this belief.
It's really hard to like not fall into it though. I think like at least in Australia, because we're so fucking far behind, like
Oh yeah,
with spirituality, because it's commonplace. A lot of people I don't think even think to question it because it's so normal.
Yeah, it's a shame. I went down that pipeline. I definitely did. I had like I guess I had a spiritual awakening. I guess it was after the birth of my son in 2010. Because I just had this full on like prophecy as I was giving birth to him, and I was like, oh, that's right. I spiritual. I had a bit of time off in my practice, and the internet was a bit more developed at this point, and I was like, oh, okay, what's going on in spirituality? Oh, the law of attraction. And, oh, the Galactic Federation. Okay, cool. And and I definitely went I went down the anti-vax thing as well. My ex-husband, he basically threatened to fucking leave me if I wasn't really going to get our son vaccinated. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty serious fucking, all right, fair enough. Like, fucking Jenny McCarthy and her bullshit. I did. I wouldn't say I was in psychosis or anything, but I was taking in all of this information and trying to implement it, especially the New Age thought about, vibrations and shit like that. And I ended up doing quite a bit of damage to myself spiritually by suppressing and stuffing down a lot that was going on with me. I had postnatal depression at that time, and I was fighting with myself to keep that stuff down and be only high vibes, only be thinking good things. And it made it so much worse when I finally realized that I wasn't seeing any results, and spell work was so much fucking easier. It all like flooded out of me, and it was horrible. I had to work through all of that. So yeah, don't recommend.
It's like trying to get to, I guess, not even the end goal of spirituality, but like it's trying to get from point A to point B without actually walking the journey. And it's like,
yeah,
that's what I find with New Age spirituality. As, like,
it does.
Irrespective
You know
of all
really
the cultural
pisses me
appropriation
off?
the shitness, it's like you've got to take the journey to actually get there, to integrate it into you as a person.
And it's to have something. So this whole, like, they all love universal oneness. We're all the same. We're all one energy. We're all everything. And okay, yeah, I can see that, but you haven't done anything to evolve to get to oneness, to actually contribute anything. All you've done is take it. You take, and you're going to show up at universal oneness, and what? You've given nothing.
$85,000 US for universal oneness.
Legit. Like, okay, so we're all at the, all right, let's just say we're all at the end of the fucking timelines, and the universe is over, and all of these New Age people are here, and we're like, yay, universal oneness. And they're like, okay, well, these cultures brought this information, these cultures channeled this, and they have all of this, and white people, what are you bringing? And they're like, oh, well, chakras. Oh no, that's from over here. And all of these other concepts. No, well, you've stolen all of this. So where are your thoughts? Where is your depth? Where is your connection? Oh, you don't have any because you stole it, and you didn't actually connect in with your own ancestors, and didn't actually come up with any original anything. Oh, that's disappointing. Like, it's just, we can't get to universal oneness until, like, we actually, connect and get back to, like, we need to go back pre-Christianity, and like we're thousands of years behind other cultures in terms of what our connection means to us, and the philosophies, and the teachings that we could pass on to other cultures, so that they might be able to have something from us. We're not doing that.
No.
We're producing cults and bullshit.
Enough of the cheat codes. It's
yeah, this ain't Sims. We're not typing in motherload here.
That's it.
It's like commas and enter 50,000.
Right? Cheat code after cheat code. Like, what did you achieve?
Yeah, no.
What, to the end of the game?
I mean,
cool.
There's some decent occultism, but yeah, it hasn't been expanded, or it all develop. It goes into cults, and it gets fucked up. It could be great, but we just don't know how to fucking behave.
No. Straight up facts, though. White people suck.
We suck so bad. No wonder everyone's had enough of our shit. Honestly, I don't. I'm like, I'm sorry. You suck. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully in another couple generations.
When I remember that I'm white, it's like
legit though. I'm like, I'm trying to like, all I can do is like the community that I have influence over. I can, talk about this kind of stuff. My kids, I can instill it in them. Cultural respect, and to remember that you're a fucking idiot, really, and so are your ancestors, some of them, and to be better. And that's all I can fucking do, and not start a cult. And it's tempting, but I'm not going to, because that is a cycle that I need to break. A white person with something to say about spirituality doesn't need to be a cult leader.
Yeah. It's always been fascinating. I'm fascinated by cults, though. I won't lie. Like, just the...
Oh, me too.
It's just, I don't know, one of the sick deep dives of Euryale. Sick fascinations.
Legit.
With the dark.
Well, I have Venus in Scorpio in the 9th house, so I love all of that, like, cults, anything taboo, especially around religion and like the hive mind, and I love it, but I would also like it to stop. At the same time, like, I can be fascinated and know it's a bad thing.
Right. Thank fuck we have Aquarius risings, hey. Otherwise it would just be ruthless. and not even care.
Got some balance about us. Yeah.
The Aquarius definitely balances out the Capricorn.
Yeah, the Capricorn in my 12th house.
Oh, right? It's awful. I've got Capricorn stellium in my 12th, and it's like, bitch, you really just hate it.
I'm glad. I got Cap there, and the stellium's the next house up in Sagittarius, so I think I get a bit of, like, I get to joke around a bit more because of that. It's not all doom and gloom. It doesn't always have to be so hard.
Oh, Saturn is hell. But I actually low-key love Saturn. I like the hard work and the rewards that you get for it.
The rewards you get, yeah. It's fucked when you don't do the work, though.
Right?
And Saturn comes back and is like...
Saturn's just like...
you didn't do anything!
Yeah.
I always think of it... They're like the parent that came home and he forgot to take the chicken out for dinner. And they're just like, you didn't take that chicken for dinner! You ruined everything. It's like, you needed that chicken to be thawed to make dinner, and Saturn's like, I needed you to do the fucking work so I could like make you this delicious meal, you fuckwit. All right, let's do it again. Like,
oh my gosh, that is so Saturn though. I love you. I really do love you. That's why I've got a tattoo.
We love you, Daddy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining, is it on The Simpsons? Is it Homer Simpson that takes on the burger dude? And he's like, stop, he's already dead.
He's already dead.
That's how I feel with Saturn.
Yeah. People who aren't ruled by Saturn, they just don't fucking get it. They don't get it.
No, not at all.
Little princesses.
But I think that I love how that's like went from baneful magic to stop, I'm already dead.
I mean, Saturn is a great energy for baneful magic, especially justice working, so it's appropriate that his energy comes into the chat.
Definitely. Oh, I love that. So, one final question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a deity, how would we summon you?
Ooh. If I were a deity, how would you summon me? I think through a fire, for sure. And wine.
Love it.
A nice cheese. No. Nice cheese and a nice charcuterie board. No, I think I'd make you guys stand in front of a mirror and like say my name 3 times or something with a fire lit.
I love that.
Yeah, like Bloody Mary.
If we had to say your name backwards, how would we say your name backwards? Me trying to read your name backwards, and I'm like, nah, that's not happening.
Iasobroma. Arisobroma.
We just have to like say that. And
yeah,
I'm not even gonna try.
Join a cult.
In high school, I had a nickname. It was Yadink. Do you know? Yadink, and they wouldn't tell me for ages what it meant. Yadink. What the fuck does Yadink mean? And it's Cindy backwards because I've got the mole here, but it's on the wrong side. So they're like, Cindy backwards, Yadink. So you can say Yadink 3 times in a mirror. Fucking Australian boys, man.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Man, I wish I thought of you, Dink. The best you got from me was Ambrosia.
Ambrosia. I like Ambrosia.
I will make it stick. But maybe I'll petition to bring back your Dink.
Your Dink. Fuck. Why did I even tell you that? That seems like a mistake. That's that oversharing that we talked about, Amber.
I swear I overshare all the time, though. This whole podcast, I swear, like the first 3 episodes was just me oversharing.
So the whole Patreon, my like academy, the whole thing is me oversharing.
Keeping up with Ambrosia.
Yeah, right. It should be. Just talk about everything on there.
I love it. Funny. But do you have anything that you'd like to add or anything on today's topics?
Oh, I don't know. This has been really fun. I think the time's flown.
It really has.
Yeah. No, I just love that you guys are doing this and like wanting to spread awareness about this topic. It's really, I mean, it's so funny. Like a lot of people see me as a baneful left-hand path practitioner. Like it's not all that I do, but I think I just embody it, and so people like it, and it's like, okay, cool, like whatever. Yeah. I don't think I'm the ambassador for baneful magic, but like I can.
Oh my gosh, when I start the Witches' High Council, you'll be the Minister of Baneful.
Minister of Baneful, man. Minister of fuck around and find out. I have to, yeah. I think I'd really thrive in that position, actually. No, but honestly, like the truth is, I'm not doing like curses every other fucking day. Like it's more of a case by case sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even really post a lot about it anymore, just because, like I said, it's not up for debate, and I just can't be fucked sometimes. And sometimes I don't have permission to film it from like whatever spirits I'm working with. So
yeah,
it's really a shame because it's fucking some of it's really cool too. It's like some of the spells I've got, man, they're fucking cool. And they would look cool to film too, but yeah, not allowed. Shouldn't be. I'm not like trying to inspire people into it. I think it is more of a calling, and especially like younger people who might take it the wrong way or something. Like I'm trying to be responsible in a way.
Yeah, I'm the same when it comes to like more questionable things that I do in my practice, and let's be real, there's a lot. So it's like you can't show much of anything on TikTok because if it falls
it just
into
gets
the
taken
wrong
down
hands or the wrong person sees it, like they could probably fuck themselves up.
Yeah, especially with my fire stuff. I get videos taken down all the time, so I've stopped even trying. But there's a spell that calls for me to literally set my own hands on fire, and I posted it once, taken down immediately. I think there's one a couple years ago. I think it might still be up. And yeah, everyone's like, whoa, fire hands. How do I do that? How do I do that safely? It's not safe. It's not. I'm not doing it to inspire you to do it. It's more of like a faith thing within the ritual. If you do it, you will burn yourself. I cannot stress that enough. This is not gatekeeping. This is just like the point I got to be able to do that. I don't even know how to teach it. So yeah, there are certain things, especially with the fire, that aren't safe. I've definitely fucked up and set the whole room on fire before. Like, so yeah, try not to like encourage that too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so heavily a part of my practice. How can I not show it?
It's really difficult, like, to navigate that, especially like because you are on such a big platform, like over 100,000 people watching you. Like, it's hard to navigate.
It's weird.
That is really weird when you put it like that.
So
isn't it?
weird.
Like,
I get paranoid, like, well, and because I know that, like, I'll like go to like the kids' school or something, and people will be staring at me, and I'm like, no, they don't recognize you. That's ridiculous.
Fucking
like,
what
it's
cunt?
No, oh my god! But it's funny when I'm dating someone and they come across it and they like watch all the video. They fucking binge watch that shit, and then I can always tell because afterwards they're a bit like, hi. And I was like, you found TikTok, didn't you? Yeah. Fuck. It's alright, don't be scared, it's fine.
Just don't be shit and you'll be fine.
Well, don't binge, like, it's a lot to take in at once. It's like 3 years worth of posts. Don't do that.
That is a lot to binge watch. That's a lot of dedication to the cause.
That's some commitment right there.
Right?
Yeah, right. But anyway, try and hide that for as long as I can next time. I don't have TikTok.
TikTok to like,
yeah, no,
your dink, and you wearing a mustache with glasses. You dink the witch.
I need to conceal my identity. I'm so too fucking late for that. No, it's just a paranoia thing, and it's dumb. And I've even had people tell, like, I've got like Instagram, I've got people from high school on there. I've got people like extended family, like my ex's cousins. Like, it's the cat's out of the fucking bag. There's no putting it back in. So
yeah,
I just gotta roll with it.
So, do you have anything that you wanted to add, Wolf?
All good on my end.
Amazing.
But it's been amazing. If anything, so is it just TikTok we can find you on? What platforms and what's the handle?
Yeah, so just TikTok and Instagram, and it's Ambrosia the Witch, Ambrosia _the _witch, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hate Facebook. I do have a YouTube, but I haven't really done anything with it. Maybe
we can also find you at the Veiled Arts Apothecary.
Oh yes, yeah, the Veiled Arts Apothecary, and also the Veiled Arts Academy as well, which is where I teach my practice basically.
Yeah, amazing. Awesome. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's been so fun. I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But amazing. Okay, see you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.